Welcome back to Super Sentai Review, episode number 102. This is discussing episodes 38 to 41 of Goggle-V. Now, 38 is kind of a key episode, more in a minor sense, mostly. Yes, at the end of the episode, it is mostly a standalone episode. It doesn't really affect main series overall, but in a big sense, more in a small, tiny sense, per se. I'll get to that. So the plot of this one is that they want to get their hands on a jetpack that I think it was Goggle-Yellow made. Yeah. So the whole thing is about a friendship between Goggle Black and Goggle. It was blue and yellow. Yes. And basically all about getting a jetpack and battling a rhino. Okay episode per se. But what is the minor key thing about this episode? Is that, basically episode 37 was the last time they did this, where they basically had Goggle Red, Goggle Blue, and Goggle Yellow doing hand signs to activate the execution of the sword. Here, they pretty much switched it up. They stopped doing that with this very episode instead of using the same exact thing over and over and over and over again for 37 straight episodes. We finally have something new. And it's simply Goggle Red pulling some levers, saying the same line, but pulling levers this time. Instead of, doing the hand signal like, doing this, and yeah. My guess is they must have realized, though, I guess maybe the actors were complaining, like, hey, why are we using the same exact footage every time we use basically, when we destroy one of these monsters? It simply put the same thing. No change. Not at all. Yep. Yeah. And from this point forward, they basically just pull levers, and that's it. Yeah. It's an okay episode, but that was the only thing really new they introduced this one, was basically the lever thing. And that was episode 38. 39 is mostly one of the rarities about this one, a Goggle Pink episode. When was the last time we had one of these? Seems like it's been a long time since we had a Goggle Pink episode. And the most about this one is simply the Deaf Dark has basically made a children's book that sucks children inside and traps them there and simply brainwashes them. At one point, they captures Goggle Pink, though the Goggle Pink was able to escape thanks to, at one point was trapped, but there is a owl on the inside of the damn book, can't move in the page. They say she can't move. And they show her inside the book, and she's able to move perfectly fine. She can't move over the area perfectly well. Even though they say she can't move, that's actually a lie. She can move perfectly fine. And thanks to the fire, she's able to get out of the book no problem. And of course, beat the monster. It was an okay episode per se. Now, in the case of 40, yeah, this was a really interesting one. This actually was the first time they actually did try to look for, this was just basically just by pure accident, basically decided this. They're going to kidnap a computer scientist, and just by sheer coincidence, they capture the lead of the convoys, and they kind of almost find out the secret base of Goggle-V. First time they do it in this entire run, and they get really close to finding it, and nothing comes of it. It's oh, by the way, do they notice whatever Goggle sees her is basic? By the way, the monsters episode freezes people. And let's use the convoy because, he's connected to Goggle-V. Okay. It is definitely an interesting episode per se. But, yeah, aside from the fact that this is the first thing I can try to find the base, which kind of begs the question, basically, why doesn't Goggle-V try to find Deadtopia? If you're wondering where the heck it is, it's not really stated because early on they did show it moving all over the place. It'll be on the ground. Clearly it's above the surface a lot of the time, but where it is, don't know because basically Goggle-V doesn't bother to search the damn thing. It's kind of similar to what they did with Bat Fever J, where it's they didn't search for they actually didn't find the place. At least to think of looking for it until the last episode of that one. Who knows? They might do this. At least Sun Vulcan actually were attempting to find a damn place. And of course, you probably think, what about Denzi Man? Denzi Man, they had a pretty good idea who the base was, except that getting to was near impossible. And Sun Vulcan, at least they tried to. This one's like they just don't bother looking at the base anymore. Nope. But this definitely was a really interesting episode. Yep. Episode 41. It's about basically that okay, so Death Dark wants to make this super suit that makes it super strong. And they want to make a whole bunch of them. And their Silk Monster managed to make one, does a pretty good job for it. And then the thing blows up. Like, as far as I can tell, there's no explained reason for this. It just explodes. And somehow, just by sheer coincidence, the suit they just made ends up out the window right in the hands of a police officer who puts it on, beats a bunch of bullies, kind of becomes basically a local hero. Until, like, oh, let's have it where the Silk Monster battles the thing. You're like, oh, the thing is not that strong. Yeah, they're actually quite shocked the fact they say, oh yeah, the thing is not very strong, and yet somehow it is. And is able to basically wipe through the force of Death Dark really easily. And here's the thing. Once this officer puts it on, he doesn't take it off until his son gets kidnapped by Death Dark. And he takes off, and he's like, okay, let's just basically pass up. Because his son kept calling him a coward. So was hating him until he puts on the suit and he becomes a local hero. And then he has the suit destroyed just to protect his family. Obviously. It's like with this one, it's like, okay, first of which, why the heck are they making this a strong suit for? As far as I can tell, there is no explained reason for this. I like the last ones that just by sheer coincidence or pretty good one. This one is like a whole bunch of plot holes. Like, why are we making the suit? Why did the thing explode? Which, by the way, just by sheer coincidence, just because this thing exploded, Goggle-V was just happily passing by and gets to fight with Death Dark over this. And he doesn't know what the heck is going on. Yeah, it's almost like this episode was run on the fly. It's like, oh, it's like this episode was a series of random things happening. Yeah. Oh, by the way, despite the fact he's shown carrying a bag, here's kind of the weird thing about it. It's like he wears plain clothes. And when he changes to the strong suit, he, for some reason, doesn't go back pick up his damn clothes. He just steals one of the motorcycles from the people who are bullying the kids and rides off home. And as far as I can tell, the police do not arrest him for Grand Theft Auto. Clearly what this guy did, despite him being a police officer, he committed an actual crime. He stole someone's property, a motorcycle. He could say, you probably could say he just confiscated it for his own personal use. Obviously. Yeah, as for why those guys were bullying a bunch of baseball, little league baseball players, don't know. It's just feels completely random this episode. That's the problem with episode 41. And here's the thing. We're only 9 episodes away from the final. We're only like 9 episodes left to go for this whole thing. Yep, only 9 more left to go. You're thinking, really? 9 left? Yep, 9 left. Like, wow, that's quite interesting. The fact there's only 9 left. Yeah. But basically what I described these 2 episodes is literally what happened. By the way, Airmon's defeated by the robot by the very end when he goes giant size. Yep, even with the spear. So it's like, okay, so 34-inch uses the golden spear, and then 4 episodes later they switch up like one sequence in order to basically speed up the time with the Megazord fight. It's possible, to say the least. Yes. Yep. So yeah, that's episode review. Next one's going to be a Comic Corner, and then spin back to Goggle Bad Super Sentai for probably a few episodes, and then we do the Rising of a Shield Hero. Okay, next video. Bye.